What if the secret to making over $1 million online wasn't a genius business plan, but was born from feeling completely lost? In 2025, I crossed the 7-figure mark with 4 different streams of online income. But this journey didn't start with the trust fund or a viral gimmick. It started with silence, the kind of defining silence you feel when you know deep down in you that you're living someone else's life. On the outside, things looked good. I thrived in college studying biochemistry and eventually became a tutor in my freshman year. But the success felt hollow. The stress was crushing, so I dropped out. That's when my life really began. I pivoted and built a thriving freelance career with big names like Microsoft, and I also helped small businesses. And inside, I started to feel like I had purpose. If you've ever had that nagging feeling that you're meant for more, but you have no idea where to start, you're in the right place. This is the story of how I mixed a deep passion for spirituality with the skills I was already using to pay my bills and built the life I had only dreamt of. I'm going to show you how each stream of income built onto the last. So stick around because the 4th stream of income is truly what blew things up. But it never would have happened without the first one. So income stream number 1, this was the foundation for everything. And it started long before the $1 million year, way before then. It was my freelance business. I was a jack of all trades in the digital world, but graphic designer part-time and social media marketer part-time, and also virtual assistant part-time. This was my 9 to 5 and my 5 to 9 and everything in between. This work gave me financial stability, which was just a fancy way of saying I had room to breathe. But it also gave me something more valuable than money: skills. I landed high-staking projects with Microsoft. I helped them create a virtual tour for Black History Month, and that single gig was like a masterclass in professionalism and graphic design. Working with clients at that level taught me discipline, management, deadlines, communication, and execution. And I had to make sure I ran those projects with precision. My mind was being trained to operate at a high level, even when my heart was still searching. My freelance career at the time was a safety net, my first investor, and my toughest teacher. It paid for my search for meaning and gave me the skills to build something real when I finally found it. So with that being said, in my first month of having my first contract on Upwork, I made $3,000 that month just from being a freelancer. So that really told me that freelance was in demand and I could make a whole career out of this. So literally, instead of just working 1 contract at a time, I would work 3 contracts at a time and the money was just piling up. So income stream number 2. That feeling of being lost didn't just magically go away when I started doing freelance. It honestly pushed me down a little deeper because I was working for other people, but not for myself. And I started learning more about spirituality and I started really focusing on my mental health. And with that, I started digging into like philosophy, meditation, and I was truly trying to heal from a place that I was in from when I was younger. And honestly, I started feeling this pull to share my learnings about spirituality to the world, which eventually led me to my second stream of income, which was launching social media pages that were themed with spirituality and enlightenment. I started my first themed TikTok account when COVID hit, and I was still working freelance at this time. I wasn't thinking much of where my themed pages were going, but I just knew that I really wanted to share my findings when it came to spirituality. And literally the first couple months of posting viral videos onto my page, I started getting tens of thousands of subscribers from my themed TikTok. So I went all in. I told myself I can do this for a career. So I made a decision then and there that I was going to make a career off of social media because I was already doing it as a freelance career. So I used to take the viral videos that were already going viral on my feed and I used to save them and repost them onto my page with credits from the original creator. So from there, I was still doing freelance work, and I also had this themed TikTok page, and I decided to also make a YouTube channel and an Instagram because the TikTok was already blowing up. So I was like, let me go ahead and make some more channels. So in the meantime, TikTok was blowing up and I started getting revenue from TikTok. And this was like back in the day when TikTok was doing so good. I don't think TikTok is the same at all anymore, but back in the day, it was going crazy. With that being said, I made a YouTube channel that was also about spirituality, but this was actually showing my face. The TikTok was a faceless account, but my YouTube was actually personal. And on that page, I started talking about, body positivity, spirituality, and I didn't shave. I don't shave. So people would like see my armpits and it would make my videos blow up. So I actually ended up getting monetized on YouTube very quickly. I reached 33,000 subscribers and I got monetized on YouTube. So that was absolutely a blessing. I was just speaking about the way I thought about life and I was just embracing beauty and I got paid from YouTube for that. So I'm very grateful for it. And this was after like a year of posting on YouTube consistently. So we have to think, I was doing freelance and themed social media pages. And while I was posting on YouTube and TikTok, I also made a personal Instagram showing my face. And I was basically posting the same sort of stuff on YouTube about spirituality, positivity, putting it on Instagram. And that was blowing up as well. So I had these 3 themed social media accounts that I was basically getting subscriptions and ad revenue on. And it was absolutely perfect. So I will put social media and YouTube into 2 different streams, but they're all theme pages. So I had freelance, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. That's 4 streams, but I guess I had 5 streams. But so we already had some things going on then. And with that being said, my TikTok and Instagram were continuously blowing up. And I think I reached like over 300,000 followers on TikTok. So with that being said, since I was getting hundreds of thousands of followers on my Instagram and my TikTok, I decided to create another stream of income through digital products. I made a digital product and I sold it via a link in my bio. And it was super easy to do because I was already getting so many views. I was getting millions of views every month. So why not get subscription, ad revenue, and also digital product revenue? It was literally amazing. So with that being said, I said there were 4 streams, but I think there were like 6, okay? So with that being said, I was still doing freelance at the time, okay? And I was reinvesting all my money into NFTs and crypto because at the time that was blowing up also. And I was also doing freelance work for crypto companies. And those crypto companies gave me free crypto. Just saying, if you ever want to get crypto, work for NFT and crypto companies, they will give you free stuff, okay? I have a girlfriend that does that for a living and she gets free trips, she gets free crypto, she gets free NFTs. So just putting that out there. So I used to reinvest my earnings into crypto and NFTs and I was making like thousands of dollars off of that as well. So things were literally piling up on each other. I had freelance, crypto and NFTs, social media pages, YouTube. It was a lot. So now we're going to get into how I manifested over $1 million off of all these streams. It literally was about consistency. Consistency was the biggest thing because when it comes to being on social media, especially on Instagram, if you take a break, your page won't blow up the same. Same thing with TikTok. So I can vouch for consistency being one of the biggest things for me on how I reached $1 million in revenue. The mindset shift. So the mindset shift for me was basically just ultimately believing in myself, even though nobody else was. I was making so much money at a young age and I didn't have a grasp on reality. I started having this big disconnect with the reality of people my age because, the economy is so awful. But here I am making $10K, $20K, $30K a month. So there was definitely a disconnect there, but I am still so grateful for keeping faith in myself because if it wasn't for my consistency and just having that vision for myself, I don't know where I would be. So there it is, my multiple streams of income that have gotten me to over $1 million at the beginning of this year. I hope this video shows you that you don't need a huge planned out business plan to manifest $1 million. You literally just need to be consistent and stick with your hobbies and your passions. Literally, I was so lost growing up, and even in college, I didn't have much faith in like the idea of the career path I was going down, which was biochemistry. And I am completely thankful for the fact that I kept going. If this resonates with you in any way, subscribe to the channel because I have a passion for helping women manifest $1 million just like I have been able to. And if you're ready to stop feeling lost and finally get a plan for your life towards $1 million, I have put everything, the strategies, the systems, the mindset work into a coaching program. It's literally the guide I wish I had when I first started out. The link to learn is in the description down below, and I'm so happy you stayed till the end. And I will see you next time. Bye, divas.